a new band of rebels arose who were determined to carry the fight to Jerusalem. The SICARII. To the SICARII, anyone who wasn't fighting the Romans was a collaborator and worthy of death.
Many were slain every day, and the fear men were in was worse than the calamity itself.
All right, first and foremost, I want to give call all Yahweh. BAJA Mashiach Yahweh Shai. That's all praises to the Most High God in the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. With the sect of SICARII, we come in and week out to not only prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom, but also to uplift our people, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, to show you your true and biblical identity as the Israelites of the Bible, God's chosen people, right? We got to come back to who we are as a people because we are lost, right? We're lost going into the ways of these other nations, and God tells us that we will be cursed as a people for going against his word, for seeking the covenants with these other nations when we have a covenant with the Creator. But we have traded our promises, we have traded our covenants, and we have traded everything that has been made for us for the crumbs, right? But this world is made for our sakes, and we got to come back to this world, this word in truth and sincerity, right? Give me that.
Isaiah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
It says the ox knoweth his owner and the ass his master's crib, man. These are speaking about animals knowing who they belong to, right? Us as so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we don't know where we belong, man, because our culture and our history has been taken and has been robbed from us. Read.
But Israel doeth not know.
But who?
But Israel doeth not know. My people doeth not consider.
And we don't consider, man. Israel is speaking about a people in the Bible, right? That's who we descend from. We descend from a man named Israel, making up the 12 tribes of Israel, being the Israelites of the Bible. That's who we are as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And we use the Bible along with secular history and biblical history to show and prove that to those who have ears to hear and want to learn, man, right? But we don't consider that. And why don't we consider? Let's get that Jeremiah.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4 and verse 22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding.
And we don't have no understanding, man. We're sottish children, man. In a different translation, it says we are stupid, right? Us going into the ways of these other nations and giving up our promises, man. Giving up our rulership, our dominion, our kingdom, our heaven, man. We've given up our heaven to live in hell, right? What's the precept about?
They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge.
And we're wise to do evil, but to do good, we have no knowledge, man. And what is good? The good is the laws of God, man. The same things that the churches teach against, right? The church teaches that you don't have to keep these laws anymore, that we made a covenant with them, right? So,
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 28 and 15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death.
we have said we did what?
We have made a covenant with death. And with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehoods have we hid ourselves.
And that's what we're doing, man. We're going by these other what these other people have put on us, man. We have made an agreement with hell. Now give me Baruch 4 and 1, Babu Shah. Right? We are at peace with that, man. We're at peace with being on the bottom. We're at peace with being over here selling drugs to our own people. We're at peace with poisoning our own water wells, man. Right? We become at peace with that. We wake up day in and day out just to get to the hustle and grind, right? Working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet. But we have made a covenant with hell, man. All right? and we have become comfortable. We have become complacent, man. And it's time that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man, we start following God's law, statutes, and commandments, right? Because this is for our good, not to hate our people, not to have an evil eye towards our people. All right, what you got? Jeremiah 17:4. Right, because the church is going to have you believing, that heaven is a place where you go where you die, and hell is a place that if you don't believe in Christ, that you're going to be sentenced to a lake of fire for all eternity, man. But heaven and hell are both places on earth, man, right? The so-called white man, he's in heaven right now because this is his kingdom, right? And the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man, us as Israelites, we are in hell, man. We are downtrodden and stepped on, man. Right? We have been destroyed to a means to where we don't even consider who we are. Read.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee.
And that's what happened, man. The Israelites of the Bible are going to discontinue from the heritage that they were given, man. We're going to stop going in the ways of that are good for us, man. We're going to start going into the ways of these other nations, into this melting pot of fecal matter, man. Right? Read.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Who are we going to serve?
To serve thine enemies in a land which thou knowest not.
So in the Bible, the Israelites have enemies, right? And the Israelites, for not listening, are going to have to serve those enemies in the land which we know is not, right? And so when the so-called black man was carried over here from the west coast of Africa, right, they didn't know this land, right? And the Native Americans and the indigenous Mexicanos, right, they were already over here, right? But then they got taken to another land to serve other enemies, right? In the 1400s, they were taking on slave ships back to Spain, man, right? Give me some more.
For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
And that's what happened, man. And it's gonna burn for a time, man. Right? It's gonna. Hey, come up here. Come here. Come here. You wanna talk? If you wanna talk, we can have a conversation. If you don't wanna have a conversation, then keep your mouth shut and walk away, you damn dog.
Right.
You don't got no business talking to me. You don't even have. You a two-time loser, man. You homeless in your own kingdom. You probably shoot up drugs every night, right? And I hope one day you shoot up enough drugs that it kills you, man. One less damn devil on this earth.
Right.
Because the white man is the damn devil of the Bible, and if you want me to show and prove it to you, I can. Right?
Good.
So just keep your mouth shut and go on about your day, man. What's going on? Give me Deuteronomy 3 and 4.
This is 2 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 15. Not sitting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all.
How you doing, brother? Good? Chilling? What's your ethnicity on your father's side? If you don't mind me asking. Mexican? All praises. Where from? Jalisco? Okay. All praises. Have you ever heard about the Israelites in the Bible? What's your ties to the Bible? You got any biblical understanding? You follow God? What you got any denomination?
I'm Catholic. I follow God, but kind of into science, kind of. Yeah, it's a little bit trippy in a way.
Okay.
It's a little different, but I mean it makes sense. What type of science?
What type of science?
Science I don't know, genetics and stuff, and just everything, how they DNA and stuff, and how they can kind of fix that. They have
So what?
Fix DNA?
Fix DNA?
Well, kind of in a way they can.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't say like fixing it, but they could like
Something like modify?
modify it. Yeah, in a way.
How does that help people?
Well, I'm not
What
saying
needs to
it
be
helps
modified
people.
about our DNA?
I'm not saying it helps people, but I'm just saying it's there.
You just
know?
like the science.
No, it's not. I like the science, but it's like a little bit truthful. You know, it's like
Well, I'm asking you about it, 'cause
possible.
I'm not sure how it helps. How does modifying someone's DNA help?
No, I'm not saying it helps. I'm just saying that it's there. You know, that's why I'm like questioning.
So you're
like,
just intrigued about it?
Yeah, like in a way I'm intrigued, but I'm just like, oh shoot, like this is possible. It's like, all right,
What does that do for people? Oh. What does that do for people exactly?
I don't know. But for people,
You said
for
they're helping
people like
people with
us,
DNA.
it doesn't help us in a way. It helps them. But I'm just like, it's the truth. It's happening. I don't know.
Who's that? What's your name, sir?
Hyro.
Hyro?
Uh-huh.
Who's them? Who's the them you're talking about?
Government.
The government?
Yeah, them like.
But you like it though.
No, I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying it's the truth, and so that it's
But
like.
you say you lean towards that more than God, right?
Well, in a way, because in the back of the dollar bill it says "In God We Trust," so it's like I'm trying to connect the dots and shit. I'm like, fuck.
What dots are you trying to connect? I'm trying to understand here. Because first of all, you said, hold on, here, take this. 'Cause this is getting crazy. My God, this is actually getting crazy right now. Here. Because first you said you choose science over God, right?
No. I didn't say that.
What did you say earlier?
I said that it's kind of iffy because it's also true, you know, like they can't.
So
It's
science
a
doesn't mix
possibility.
with the Bible? Does science mix with the Bible?
Well, the Bible is written by people, and we don't actually know. It's like you go to school and history books, you know, they teach you. It's like history is like a prison in a way, and
History is a prison?
Do
Do you believe in history?
I believe in history, but
Do you believe the Bible is history?
it's history, yeah. But there's more truth behind the Bible that they want you to know. You know, like they wrote down what people should know instead of exactly what
I
happened.
mean, how do you know that though? How do you determine that?
I can't. I don't know. It's
But
just,
you're telling me this.
well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
So you don't believe you think the Bible was just constructed just to tell us what we should know, not everything that's supposed to happen.
Well, whoever wrote it, it's like, I mean, who wrote it?
The Israelites wrote it.
So,
Multiple people over thousands of years.
But why is there so many different kinds of Bibles?
Those are just translations from the same manuscript.
Every different religion.
Well, a religion is different from the Bible.
But then
We're
how
talking about
does
the
that-
Bible here.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's multiple Bibles. It's
Oh,
like
and
how,
those are different translations of the same documents.
and at the beginning, how does it start?
What do you mean? How does what start?
The Bible, like how did it
It's
begin?
the narrative of the Israelites and the chosen people of God. Is this like prior to basically what I'm trying to say is one culture wrote the Bible. It's been propagated as a worldwide book. Oh, everybody come in and love everything. No, that's not how the Bible works. You've been taught that. You say you were Catholic, right?
Yeah.
What does Catholic mean?
Catholic, Jesus.
No. What does it
Virgin
mean? The
Mary.
word Catholic.
Catholic. To be honest,
It
I'm
means
not
universal.
universal.
They changed the Bible to a universal culture that everybody can come in and learn from, and everybody's welcome now. Like that's not what it says in the Bible. You believe in Jesus or no?
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Give me Matthew 25, real quick. Let me show you something. Oh, I remember that sister. That's a good sister right there. What's going on? That's a good sister right there. I love that sister. Give me that.
Matthew 25 and 30. And cast ye the unprofitable servant unto...
31.
Okay, come. Verse 31. And when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory.
This is talking about who the world calls Jesus, right? He's coming back. He will sit on a throne, right? Go ahead.
And before him shall be gathered all nations.
All nations are going to be before Jesus. You mind stepping up here, sir? So I don't have to look too far away. Give me that.
And he shall separate them one.
What? Oh, read it slow. Read that from the top.
And before him shall be gathered all nations.
All nations are going to be before Jesus. But according to the Catholic Church and Christianity, everybody can be saved. Everybody's welcome. Everybody can get to heaven, right? Go ahead.
And he shall separate them.
Oh, read it again.
And before him shall be gathered all nations. And he shall separate them from one another.
All nations are going to be before Jesus, and he's going to separate people. Why is that? I thought he's supposed to love everybody. And everybody can welcome, everybody belongs to Jesus now. You're the body of Christ. Why is he saying that Jesus Christ is separating people here when he's coming back to return?
It's basically like the same reason as I said. It's like government, like
No. That's doctrine. We're talking about doctrine now. Because what you believe, the doctrine, like everybody can be saved, is a doctrine. You know what I mean? That's what's being taught, like what's being taught in the churches. But they don't read this part. This is in Matthew. This is in the Gospels. What Christ is coming to do. So how come this isn't read? Have you heard this before?
I mean, no, I haven't heard it before.
Yeah, let's read the definition of doctrine real quick.
It's a definition of doctrine, a belief or set of beliefs held and taught by a church, political party, or other group.
It's a belief that's being taught. So they're teaching something. But when I read the text, the red letter actually, it says Christ is going to separate nations. But I thought everybody dies and goes to heaven. Why is this here?
Yeah.
And that's the misconception that people have about the Bible. They go to church. Especially the Catholic Church is the worst. One of the worst. As far as doctrine. We talked to a dude, 2-3 weeks ago, bugged out of his mind. Trying to basically say it's okay to be homosexual. Because the Pope said that's okay. You believe that? You don't believe that, right? It's madness. But guess what? This is a black guy raised in the Catholic Church talking about you can't be saved. Oh yeah, he converted to Catholicism. But he's saying that homosexuality isn't the issue, it's the relationship. But that's what happens in a relationship.
Yeah.
About in the same sex, you know what I mean? But read that again, that last part, Salaki. Let me finish that.
And he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from goats.
Yeah, he's dividing sheep from goats. Who's the sheep? The Israelites.
Yeah.
The Israelites are the sheep. Who are the goats? The other nations.
Why is it only Israelites? What about
Because
us?
I told you from the get-go, the Bible is written by the Israelites. Jesus was a Jew, right? He's an Israelite,
But
correct?
what does that have to do with other people? Like, what about us?
You're an Israelite. We're telling you that.
Oh, okay, sure.
You say you're Mexican, right?
Oh, I'm like, okay.
But a Mexican isn't in the Bible. And Issachar is in the Bible. You're an Issachar, according to God. Obviously, over the conquest of the conquistadors and the black people get put in slavery.
Spaniards and
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. You're not a Spaniard, right? Even though you kind of got the Canelo look, you know, the red hair, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
We still love our brothers, but guess what? All that happened due to the curses in the Bible. That was already predestinated and prophesied about. You familiar with that?
Yeah.
Have you read that before?
Not what you just read, but I
Well, I'm talking about the slavery part.
Oh, the
Because slavery was prophesied in the Bible that happened to the Israelites. The conquistadors coming over to the Americans and conquering your people, that was already written by God thousands of years ago. And that's what we believe in the Bible. We don't believe in the Bible just because, it's here. It's written. No, we believe our ancestors wrote this book.
But like, when was the Bible written, and like how
Over thousands of years.
But how did they write it again? Like, how is it
We-
that if it's what they're trying to hide and stuff, or like certain things, you know?
Who's
like,
trying to hide anything?
Well, the
Vatican?
Because the Vatican's a part of the government, and the
No,
government hides so
government is
much.
not part of the Vatican. The Vatican is separate.
It's
It's its own government, per se. Washington, D.C. is its own government. That city alone is not even tied to America, technically.
I mean, they have like a connection and
Of course.
understanding,
Exactly, the
to
city
where
states.
it's like,
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, the Pope is kind of he's like the religious branch of the world power. America's a military power. Rome is the political / religious power in the world. That's why he's supposed to be the father of all churches.
it's not for money though, isn't it?
I mean, all churches give their money to the Pope.
And Why does the Pope need it? I thought it was for
I mean,
the people
that's
in need.
the way the church was set up.
Yeah.
That's why if you go to any church in the world, people give tithes, and it's tax-free money, right? You familiar with that?
Yeah.
Why is it tax-free?
Well,
No, because you have to make a contract with the government,
right.
and that's where the doctrine comes in. You have to teach a certain thing in order to open up a church. You have to be, what's it called? Well, you have to have a 501c3, but it's a term for not a theologian, but basically you have to learn their doctrine in order to get a degree to be a preacher or pastor. You have to go to a theologian school.
So you have to know. You have to talk about what they want you to talk about.
You have to go to school through them and learn their doctrine.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. You can't own a church. Was that?
A seminary.
Yeah, exactly. Seminary school. That's what it is. A seminary school. Mm-hmm. So any church you see in San Francisco, Catholic Church right up the street, they have to go to seminary school. I mean, even though the Catholic Church is a little bit different because they have a lot more rituals and madness going on, but in order to be a pastor in a church, you go to Catholic Church now?
I used to go every Sunday, but lately I just go to work.
It's much better to your time. Get some money. Get some money, sir. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. Like, the way the Bible's been taught over the last 400 or 500 years is their way. We're teaching it through the lens of the Israelites, because that's who wrote the book. And you referenced who wrote the Bible. I said our people wrote the Bible for thousands of years. We had schools that rewrote everything. Because 3,000 years ago, we didn't have regular pens and paper. You know, we had sheepskin, lambskin. We were writing it with ink, and it wilted over time. So we had to keep writing it over. And after, 1,000 years or so, or excuse me, 2,000 years ago, after the Jews got expelled, people were still writing the books over there in Israel, in the Middle East. And then they found the scrolls, in 1948, the Dead Sea Scrolls. You familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
If you look up the Dead Sea Scrolls, it's mostly Hebrew scrolls that were obviously we wrote about 1000 AD. It was 1,000 years ago. And then they found the Greek Septuagint was 300 years before that. Excuse me, 300 BC. You know what I mean? The Old Testament written in Greek when we got conquered by the Greeks. But I'm saying all that to say, the Bible, every Bible that you see, even this book, the Apocrypha they took out, this book right here, it's all from similar manuscripts. The manuscripts haven't changed. So it doesn't matter what translation you read, that's somebody's interpretation of the scrolls that they're translating, but at the same time, the scrolls haven't changed.
So it's an interpretation. So
the translation is somebody's not really. It's still interpretation per se, but it's just a different translation. It's more modern. Because if you read the old, what's it 1611 now? This 1611 book, a regular Bible has how many books?
I don't know.
66.
66.
This has 80 books.
Oh, that has
So the missing books are in here. The Catholic Church has a few of the missing books too.
Yeah.
They don't have all of them like this, but this is a 1611 King James version.
Okay.
That was translated from 1611, or 1611 per se, but published in 1611.
What about the movie that they made?
Which one?
Jesus.
With the Book of Clarence? What about it?
Is that accurate? You think
Jesus is black. Jesus is black, of course.
No, well, yeah, but I mean, I'm not.
I haven't watched the movie. I haven't watched the movie.
Oh, okay, all right, for sure.
But
I was like, is it worth watching or something?
Of course, you should watch that for sure.
Yeah.
Have you watched the Ten Commandments before with Charlton Heston, the white guy? You haven't watched that? Everybody watches that around Christmas time, whatever that is. Everybody watches the white Moses lead the white Jews out of Egypt, you know.
Like the book, that movie, the Book of Clarence is more like a spoof, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
It's not no historical, you know what I'm saying? Events.
It's just portrayals.
Yeah,
It's just portrayals of black people, which is the real portrayal of the Jews at that time. Because those Jews in Israel right now aren't the real Jews. Those white people over there.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You give me that that 1 Timothy 6. 1 Timothy 6:20. Because you referenced science earlier as well. And there's science that we can agree with, and there's science we don't agree with.
Well, yeah, because it's true. Because Noah's Ark, having animals and stuff, it'd be logical to have DNA of every animal instead of an actual animal and everything. You know, it's weird. I don't know.
You believe they found Noah's Ark?
I'm not saying I believe they found it, but
I just did a video on that.
I believe.
I
I've
proved-
seen that. I've seen it. Yeah, but I'm not saying I believe that. But
You've
I mean,
seen what? You've seen a video of Noah's Ark?
People finding Noah's
Yeah.
Ark. Yeah.
I just did a video on that like last week, literally.
Oh yeah.
I showed the whole the video that the people that go to the site and all the proof that they found Noah's Ark over in Turkey.
But what I'm saying is, you know how life kept going with
Yeah.
Noah's Ark.
Uh-huh.
So like genetics, DNA, having it like in a fucking container. I'm sorry for my language also. Having it in a container and everything like with science and stuff that they could like.
Oh, of
recreate.
course, because here's the thing, science.
Cloning also happened like
Huh?
a long time ago. Cloning.
Hold on, wait a minute, hold on, what?
Dolly the sheep, supposedly 1960 something. They
Well,
started
I mean,
cloning. And
I'm sure they can
if they started
accomplish that, but I don't know. I
If they
haven't done
started that
research
back
on it.
then, imagine how far they've come now. That
According
was like
to some
over
people,
60
they've been
years.
doing it since the 40s, so I'm not too fond of that, but
Well, me neither. But I'm just saying. I mean, we saw videos in school of the cloning of the sheep, so it's like I'm like, oh, so it's possible, you know.
So you think Noah was doing that? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying he was doing that, but I'm just saying maybe it's a similar thing that
Because you
happened.
brought this up on the back of we brought up Noah's Ark. See, the thing about it is that what you might be like possibly thinking about, if I'm correct, like yes, he had animals on the thing, right?
Yeah.
On the ark. Now you got to think about it, man. Like, how many bears are there? Different type of bears, right? Grizzly, right? Black bear, brown bear, polar bear. But they're all bears, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's not hard to think that like one bear, those bears come back go back to one bear. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the Bible speaks to that, like in Leviticus, that all its animals to its kind. You know what I'm saying? So like just like different type of eagles or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, you might have had a bear in there, and then all these other bears today descend from that one bear. It's not that, you know what I mean? It's not.
it's not
hard
DNA
to
splicing.
grasp.
There was no splicing of DNA back then. He wasn't operating on anybody like that, you know what I mean? But the Bible does say that all the animals were on that boat, 2 by 2, obviously a complete number of animals as well, bugs, whatever the case may be. But what you're trying to equate it to, I don't necessarily agree with, because that wasn't going on. Like I said, 1940s is when they estimate they started cloning, if that's even true.
Playing with DNA.
Exactly, playing with DNA. Which, like I said, I don't really. That's not something I care to talk about. But if you want to hearken to that, do you agree with evolution too, or no?
In a way, a little bit, yeah. Well, I mean, we have to adapt. You know, it's not like we're breathing right now for a reason, right? We have to adapt to our environment and everything. It's
What were we
not-
doing before we were breathing? If we weren't breathing before.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, you gotta be concrete in your stance, sir.
Yeah,
We've always been breathing. Like, there's no other way we can survive.
yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not coming like some Aquaman. Like, you know, we're not doing that. So
Well, what about the firmament, though? Why is there a firmament?
that's how God created it. Do you believe that was created or no?
Well, yeah, of course, I believe that was.
So you
created.
believe there's a God, but do you believe there's a scientific aspect to God, which we
In
agree
a
with as
way,
well, but
like science is kind of I hate it because I want to believe in God like so much, but science is kind of winning me over with like all the stuff that they have and what they
you
can do
gotta
and what's
you
possible.
gotta tell me what they have.
Why-
Because there's things that are just made up and pseudo, and there's things that can be proven.
Well, yeah.
And there's scientific, like, here's the thing about science, they're coming behind the creation. That's what they're doing. They're coming behind the
Well,
creation
like-
to try to explain it.
Like satellites and stuff. I mean, if there's
Excuse
a
me?
firmament, like,
Satellites?
If there's a firmament, how is there satellites? You
Prove
know?
it.
How am I supposed to prove that? I can't go up there and be like.
You think they're in space? Above the firmament? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm
That's CGI, brother. That's not real. Those are CGI photos and videos.
why?
That's not real, sir. They put balloons. Most of the satellites are underwater. Facts.
Well,
Have you seen that before?
What about as above, so below?
That's a phrase. What are you talking about?
I thought that was some from.
As above, so below. I mean, we can get that. Give me that Matthew. Give me that Matthew 6.
Oh, that's in there?
I mean, something similar to that. Start at the top. Go ahead.
Matthew 6:1. Take heed.
Because you're talking about some like esoteric Jay-Z type, Aleister Crowley type nonsense. That's what you're talking about. And I've heard that before, you know, but that's not what, I mean, they get that from the Bible though, read.
Take heed that you do not your alms before men to be seen of them. Take heed that you
Start
do
at
not.
Start at 9.
Verse 9, Matthew 6. After this manner, therefore pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven,
Read.
hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done
Read.
in earth as it is in heaven.
On earth as it is in heaven. That's what it's referencing. As above, so below. What's happening in heaven is going to happen on earth. Eventually. Most High's will. Has nothing to do with some type of esoteric. They turn it into something on the left-hand side. That's what they do.
So heaven could be also, there could be war in heaven also? I mean, that's kind of what it's looking like over here.
War in heaven? Where's heaven at to you?
Well, heaven supposedly is what we're told, somewhere where you're happy in the afterlife.
Where you're happy in the afterlife? Is that what the Bible says?
Well, I don't
Or
know.
is that what they told you in the Catholic Church?
It's just what everyone has.
Yeah, what everybody
about.
just said, just says it.
Well, I mean,
Give me Deuteronomy 30. Let me just show you something.
So what is heaven then?
Where Kashab at?
Shop.
Where's Kashab?
Shop.
Come read over here. And let me show you something. Read this. Start at Start at the top. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 30 and
Let's see what the Bible says heaven is. And then give me 1 Corinthians 12. Read.
Deuteronomy 30 and 1. And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee,
Go ahead.
the
Read.
blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Lord thy God hath driven thee,
Go ahead.
and shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, which all in thine heart and with all thy soul,
Read.
that then the Lord thy God would turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee,
Read.
and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee.
Yeah, we're scattered here in America right now. We're not in Israel.
So basically in the beginning he's saying we had to be enslaved
This is a future prophecy, yes. The Israelites are going to be enslaved and will be scattered in all nations. That's why you're in America.
So we had to be slaves, basically.
Of course, we disobey God. If we're the chosen people of God, we're telling you you're an Israelite. There's an obligation in being an Israelite. You have to obey the commandments of God.
So we're just born to be a slave?
No. We have to do the right thing. That's what we're telling you right now.
But the right thing is
What's that?
The right thing is to be a slave?
No, of course not. That's the consequences.
Okay.
You grew up with a parent, you disobeyed your parents before?
Yeah.
Did you get in trouble for it?
Yeah.
And that's how God feels about us.
Okay.
If we disobey God, guess what? You're going into slavery. We don't get our video games taken. We don't get a slap on the wrist or with a belt. We get put in captivity. We get killed. We get drugs pumped in our communities. We get gangbanging in our communities. We get prostitution in our communities. We have all type of nonsense, drug stores and all type of stuff in our communities. You go to a white neighborhood, they don't have half the stuff we have. Especially crime. They're not killing each other there, you know?
No, I mean...
Why is that?
They got
We're
the money.
all American, right?
They got
Why don't we
the
have the same
power,
accent?
bro.
What's that?
They got the power.
Who has the power?
The rich people.
Who's the rich people?
The people that got the money, I don't know.
Who are they? Point them out.
I don't know.
Say it. It's white people. It's white people. And Asians quite as good. And Illinois or East Indians. Go ahead.
If any of thine be driven out,
Read this slow.
if any of thine be driven out
Uh-huh.
unto the outmost part of heaven,
Wait a minute. You're going to be driven out to the utmost parts of heaven. What does that mean? If heaven is in the sky.
Isn't that like the rich part? It's like where the rich people are at?
Well, we're talking about the Bible here.
Well, yeah.
The Bible says you're going to be driven out to the utmost parts of heaven. So what's heaven in this context?
What I said, like where the rich live.
Well, no, it's talking about the lands.
But I mean,
Heaven is here right now for certain people. This is the white man's heaven, and the Asian man's heaven, and the East Indian's heaven, and the Arab's heaven. Not our heaven. We got to sell our souls to get a heaven on earth, right? You familiar with that?
Yeah.
Sacrifice somebody, do a homosexual act, get $1 million, be on TV, get your own clothing line, cologne, perfume, you know, cooking show, TV show, movie. You familiar with that?
Yeah.
That's how you get heaven on earth. If you disobey God. Read that again.
From the translation. Even though you are banished to the ends of the earth, the Lord thy God will gather you from there and bring you back.
Yeah, the ends of the earth is where heaven's at. This is considered heaven wherever you go. There's heavenly places on earth. You go to Bora Bora or some island, Tahiti, that's heaven to some people. Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, you know what I mean?
So
Dubai.
So if you believe in heaven, you believe in hell. So if you believe in hell, you believe in the devil, right?
Well, here's the thing. We don't believe in the hell that the Christian or the Catholic Church teaches you about. Because people teach hell is what? You die and burn forever, right?
Yeah, suffer. Basically, just
Suffer?
suffering.
How do you suffer after you die?
How do you live? How are you in heaven when you die? It's the same
But
concept.
you're thinking of it as a Catholic right now. We're going to read the Bible to you. That's all we're going to do. I'm going to tell you what the Bible says, and I'm going to explain it. Because right now, you're thinking as a Catholic still, and you're asking questions as a Catholic.
Well, yeah, because
What are the rules of the Catholic Church?
Excuse me?
What are the rules of the Catholic Church?
What are the rules of the Catholic Church?
Is that a Catholic cannot read the Bible. Priest has to
Well, we're
read
not
it.
Catholics up here, sir.
That's what I'm telling you.
All right. I mean,
he can't.
where are you
read the
from? Where are you
Bible.
from, sir?
I'm from Ethiopia.
You're from Ethiopia?
The
Oh,
Orthodox
Kushite?
Church that has been in existence as a church longer than any other so-called Christian
You said the
church.
Orthodox Church?
Orthodox,
What-
Ethiopian Orthodox.
I mean that's rhetoric to me, but you know, whatever.
It's not rhetoric, it's history that you don't have.
Right. The earliest Ethiopian Orthodox Church is like what, the 6th century, 5th century? That's when it was translated. That's 500 AD. The Bible is just long before you, damn Cushite. Anyways, that's a heathen for you. He thinks you know something.
That's one of the enemies of our people, man.
Pride, all type of pride up here, like, doesn't matter to me, but he just says something and fleed, you know, it doesn't matter. I can prove him wrong if he would have stayed, but it's not a problem. Go ahead.
But what I was saying is, it's like oh shoot. Go ahead.
Yeah, you talking about heaven and hell. We don't get that in a second. What was he getting there?
It'll come back to me.
No, read this first.
Now this is 2 Corinthians 12:2. I knew a man in Christ above 14 years ago, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell. God knoweth. Such an one caught up to the third heaven.
Paul said he was caught up to the third heaven. What's the third heaven?
It's not your body, but just your mind, your soul, basically.
It's the spirit world. It's the spirit realm. That's where God is, per se, and angels. It's the spiritual realm. So if there's a heaven here, where we can see, we're looking at heaven for some people. We're in hell on earth. The second heaven is what? Like you said before, the sky, the firmament, stars. That's what the second heaven. The third heaven is the other dimension. That's what we believe. That's what the Bible says.
So it's dimensions.
Of course.
Okay.
I mean, the terminology that we're familiar with, yeah. This is what the third dimension, quote unquote, and the fourth dimension we can't see. So yeah, that's what we
like
believe.
3D, 4D, and
Sure. I mean, sure. It's a little different, but yeah, I know what you're saying. But what was you about to get? Is that it? Yeah, give me Lamentations. Go ahead. Let's talk about hell real quick.
So this is Isaiah 5:13.
Let's see what hell is here. Let's see if it matches up to what the Catholic Church says. Read.
Therefore my people are gone into captivity.
Did you hear that? What's captivity? Slavery, right? They've gone into captivity. That's the context. Read.
Because they have no knowledge,
Uh-huh.
and their honorable men are famished,
Read.
and their multitude dried up with thirst.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, hell enlargeth herself, and opened her mouth without measure,
Uh-huh.
and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and that he that rejoiceth
Read.
shall descend into it.
So you're going to descend into hell. But it's a condition here. Slavery, that's hell. It's not talking about a dying and going to the spiritual realm.
And burning and...
That's impossible. How is a soul burned?
Man.
Can you tell me?
I can't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's nonsense.
There's no proof.
You know that's Greek mythology,
nothing,
right?
Yeah.
That's where they get it from. That's Greek mythology. It was a fear tactic back then. Scare people into going to church and giving money to the whoever they were back then, the clergymen.
But God always forgives, right?
What's that?
God always forgives.
Who says that?
Well, it's what I heard. That's why
Oh,
I was
no
asking.
problem, no problem.
I was asking.
You know, I'm here to teach you, brother. What's your name was again?
Hyro.
Hyro? Give me that in Proverbs 16:4. Give me that.
Now this is Ecclesiastes.
Give me Lamentations first.
This is Lamentations 2:1. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion?
The daughter of Zion is talking about the nation of Israel. Read.
With a cloud in his anger.
So God is angry at the Israelites. You cover them with a cloud. What's a cloud do? It blocks you from certain things, right? Blocks you from the sun, rains on you, whatever.
And cast down from heaven.
Wait a minute. Read this again.
And cast down from heaven.
So God is angry with the Israelites. He covered a cloud over them and cast them down from heaven. But wait a minute. Are they in the spiritual realm here? What is it talking about heaven? What's the heaven here? It's talking about the condition, their rulership, their kingdom. Go ahead.
And cast down from heaven onto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger.
That's what happened. When the Israelites went into slavery, they got taken out of their heaven, their rulership. They have their sovereignty. You know what I mean? That's the heaven to the Israelites. That's why it's the white man's heaven here. They run everything. You said they have all the power. Or at least you mentioned somebody with power. But we know who has the power here. Who runs the government? The white man.
Yeah. So like how you were saying the clouds and stuff. So I guess NASA has some technology that there is proof of that.
Proof of what?
They could create clouds.
Oh yeah, of
right?
course. Yeah, they do that all the time. Yeah, they do it all the time.
I mean,
They play with what?
It's like.
Yeah, they have the HARP machine. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. You familiar with HARP?
That's what I was talking about in the beginning. It's like, all right, so they have.
You saying that's the type of science?
Well, yeah.
Well, it's more like they use it for war, honestly.
Well, yeah, of
But-
course, and for power, just so that they can
Yeah,
have,
exactly.
have the power.
They
But
can control
that,
certain
That's what I was talking about.
Because like there's something that's called cloud seeding, right? And they got a big cloud machine that they actually seed clouds with, or also when you see the planes that they with the
Chemtrails?
with the there's certain chemtrails and there's what other ones that they call seeding clouds for it to start making rain, but it's not natural. It's not the way God did it.
It's like
So when they start,
nanotechnology.
well,
That's different.
they also put aluminum in the skies to help with their communications. You know what I'm saying? So there's help bounce radio frequencies and for their communications. But there's also ones that they just use a certain exhaust that to seed clouds where they can start precipitation to make rain. But that's not the way God did it, right? Because they can cause it to rain here, but guess what? It makes another part dry up. That's how they create famines and stuff, man. Right?
How would you guys explain the equator with tectonic plates and stuff?
That's already naturally occurring though.
But how is there like plates in the middle of Earth?
That's
just
not those.
rotating.
Hold on, what? The Earth is rotating? No, we don't believe that.
Tectonic plates in the middle of Earth.
Oh, they move.
That
Yeah,
create
they
earthquakes.
move. They move naturally though. That's just
But,
naturally occurring.
How do you explain how is that possible in the middle of Earth?
I mean, there's tectonic plates in California, so I mean, what do you? I mean, there's tectonic plates all over the world. I mean, what's your question though? Because it's not just in the center of Earth. That's just one place.
No, you,
The other day, you felt that?
I'm not sure.
no,
That's how earthquakes happen. Tectonic plate shit. That's
Uh-huh.
over in California.
but I'm asking how is that not kind of science related?
I mean, I believe they can make earthquakes too, but every last one of them, no. I don't believe every last earthquake that's ever happened is them using a machine or, force fitting certain things. No, I believe those are not. It's already been established before even anyone's on the earth. I think that's already been established. And I believe, well, I don't want to tie it into the Pangea, but that could be part of Pangea as well. That the earth split up. You believe in that?
Oh yeah.
That's in the Bible too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that to say that's already been happening naturally. You know what I mean? We can't. That's not an explanation we have. Me personally, I'm not sure, but we know it does happen. It's not just in the center of Earth, though. That's my point.
No, it's just a natural occurring thing. You know what I'm saying? So what is science? It's an observation of natural occurring things and a way to explain it. So when you keep bringing up science, like what kind of science are you talking about, right? Because science is a method for you to explain natural occurring things. You know what I mean?
And there's still things they can't explain.
Exactly.
Like the Northern Lights, they have no explanation for that.
Oh yeah.
They have.
Where's the answer for that?
I have no idea.
Well, I'm pretty sure they can say something, but somebody else is going to debunk them, and they're going to go back and forth on those type of things. There's a lot of things they can't explain. Like the what's the thing we brought up? The water bug. You familiar with that?
The water element.
The water. What's the name? Water bear. The water bear. You familiar with that?
No.
It's like basically you can't. It's like something that you can only see through a microscope. It's like a microorganism. No, it's not a nanotech. It's not something they created. It's something that's already been here that can basically dry itself up. If there's let's just say there's nuclear fallout or nuclear bomb, it can survive that.
It can live in lava.
It can live in that. It can live in lava. It can live in all that. But it's a microorganism like this big, you can't even see, and it can dry itself out and go stagnant for years at a time and survive.
It's called a tardigrade. Like, this is unexplainable.
They can't explain that.
This is crazy. It can live in the most harshest conditions. In lava, it can live in freezing below 100-degree temperatures. It's crazy. And this is God's creation.
Well, that's under the microscope. It's not. You can't see it with your naked eye, but that's what they zoomed in on.
Why is it like the same size as the leaf though?
Well, no, you can't see it from naked eye. This is blown up. It's like a blown up picture. Like they look under this microscope and they took a picture of the microscope and they blew it up for us to see. You can't see it with naked eye, and that's our point. They can't explain this.
This is just a rendering. I'm gonna try to find an actual under the microscope. Hold on.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, science, all science is going behind everything that's already been established. Because they try to say that, like I said, the Earth. You said the Earth breaks up. That's fine. But they say the Earth is spinning and it's a globe. We don't believe that either.
No, it's not. It's like a sphere. It's like round, but it's a little bit.
Yeah, you believe in the firmament. You already said that before.
This is under the microscope right there. This thing can live in lava.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it can go dormant. It can go dormant for up to 30 years at a time.
Yeah, that one looks. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like, and this is how could they explain this?
It's like
And if you talk evolution, how did it evolve to live in lava? Like, this is crazy, man.
Yeah.
And there's pretty much nothing that can live in that type of environment.